I'm a bull on the sports industry, and hopefully that comes across in most of the content that I create to people. Why am I a bull? Well, I have a different read on how Web 1 and Web 2 impacted sports. And whilst I recognize that there is a lot of distraction and a lot of things that fans can do, actually, what I think it did was it demonstrated that sport is even more popular to the general populace than we thought it was. It competes with others that it never had to compete with before, but it demonstrated via distribution that sport was spectacularly popular. It may be consumed differently and in different places, but enormously popular. The challenge with Web 1 and Web 2 is that whilst it changed the way the world operates, it didn't actually fundamentally change how the economic model in sports changes, and it wasn't able to create true one-to-one relationships and connection between fans and the IP, the brands, the clubs, the leagues that they love and watch and follow passionately. So you take that as piece one, enormously popular. Everyone loves sports, generically speaking. But at the same time, we're now in a mature market. If you think about stadiums, ticketing is now at a yield management stage for most prime sports content assets. So the Premier League is pretty much sold out. The NFL sold out. This is about extracting a little bit more each year, changing your hospitality, tweaking zones, etc., etc. Yield management. Maybe you can build a new stadium, maybe you can't. Sponsorship. Sponsorship is a 4 to 6% CAGR growth industry and more challenging. Sponsors are being well advised and are being more complicated in how they construct things, what they want, and how it can be delivered. So, let's say you're doing well and you're getting a 4 to 6%. That's good, but it's not exactly going to change the bank balance. TV and media rights. Well, hopefully you're in a sport where they have sub-licensed, the teams have sub-licensed the content to the league, and the league, rightly, aggregates the content and sells it as a whole. And that's the best model for it. But, in Europe, there's a lack of competition. So media rights are at best flat. In other places, they're down, such as France, and even in terms of real terms, often down anyway. So if you take those three main streams of revenue, sponsorship is mildly growing, TV is generally flat for the moment, and tickets at yield management. And yet we've demonstrated that sport via Web 1 and Web 2 is wildly popular. That tells me innovation and disruption is needed. And that's what gets me excited, because I get to meet lots of technology companies and lots of people who are sat there going, well, we recognize the fans are there. We recognize that they want to engage. And we recognize that technology is adapting to enable us to finally do the things that when Web 2 emerged and the likes of Facebook really took off, the dreams that many of us had but were not able to realize actually might now be able to be realized, whether that's via Web3 technologies, metaverse technologies, whether that's via AI, whatever it may be. So I am a bull. At the same time, the only way to be a bull is to recognize the challenges that the industry has. And when you recognize that those three main fields are flat at best, you start to think, what else can we be doing?